Hi everyone, welcome to this card front panel swap. Here are all the things that you're going to need to pack your card panels correctly. You are going to need postage stamps, peel and seal bags, 2 C4 envelopes. These are the kind of envelope that will hold a piece of A4 paper flat. On this envelope, you need to add 2 stamps. You also need to put my name, and on the back you need to put your address. It's very helpful if you also write "do not bend." On the second envelope you need to write your name and address, your name and address, and "do not bend." The last things that you need is a piece of stiff cardstock and some sort of plastic bag. You're very welcome to use a sleeve like that. Just tape it closed at the top when it's packed. So here is what you need to do. You're going to take your peel and seal bags, place your card panel inside, and peel and seal. This means that any small embellishments that you have will not come adrift, things won't stick to each other in the post, and each of your card fronts will be well protected. Another important thing to note, when you place your card piece inside the bag, you want to squeeze out all of the air, because we don't want to be paying for bulk and air and making these envelopes thicker than they need to be. So with all the air out, we're going to fold it in half, and that is really nice and thin. For the next part of the packing process, we're going to take our piece of cardstock, and you'll notice when I stack these up that they are thicker at this end. That's because the bags have been folded over. So we're going to do some clever top and tailing here. We're going to place them top and tail so that the whole envelope is more even, and you can use some washi tape to hold them down. By placing 3 on each side, it evens out the width of the parcel for postage, and it means it's going to fit through that 2 centimeter slot and still be considered a letter rather than a parcel. This letter should cost you $2 to post to me. You also need stamps to $2 so I can return it to you. But it's a good idea to add in a bonus stamp to your return parcel, just in case somebody else's card fronts are heavier than the ones that you sent to me. If in doubt, check at your local post office. You want to take this piece of cardstock with the card fronts taped to it, pop it into your bag. You want to take the envelope with your name and address, "do not bend", 2 stamps, and your address on the back. Fold that in half and add that to the bag as well. This is the envelope that your swap items will be returned in. All of this gets sealed up and it goes inside this envelope. This has my name and address, "do not bend", 2 stamps, and your name and address on the back. Slide it in there and return it to me by the due date. Here in Australia, we have a different card size than ones you hear usually on the American YouTube channels. They have A2 card bases, whereas ours are a fraction different. What we do is we take 1 sheet of A4 cardstock, we cut it in half, and that is at the 14.8 centimeter line. We then fold it in half at the 10.5 centimeter line. That means that your card front is 10.5 centimeters by 14.8 centimeters, and that's the size that your card front panel should be. One way to get this card front panel is to take a piece of A4 cardstock, cut it in half and half again so that you have the 1/4 size pieces, and then you can decorate that. An alternative way is to cut up a sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock or pattern paper, as I have done here for mine, and you can actually cut that into 6 pieces. What you're going to do is cut it in half. You want to cut off that 14.8 centimeter line and then cut another 14.8 centimeter piece, and then each of those pieces you can cut at 4 inches. Don't cut them at the 10.5, cut them at 4 inches. It will cut much more evenly and it still fits beautifully on a card front. If there is a slight discrepancy, and I mean very small discrepancy it's always possible for people to trim these card fronts down. Some people prefer to mat them, so it's good to not put anything too close to the edges so that someone can trim down their card front panel if they like and mat it onto a darker cardstock or a lighter cardstock. Your card front panel should be flat, really flat. You cannot use shaker cards. They need to be very flat. And the reason for this is we want to keep swapping affordable. Australia Post charges us a lot to send letters, and so let's keep this affordable so that it can be fun. This one is 3 layers. There's a piece of design paper, pattern paper. This is a lawn fawn one. There is a mat with the scalloped edge and a circle here. The gems that I've used are very tiny. They're nail art gems. They don't add a lot of bulk, and overall this is a very flat piece. Of course, when you receive your card fronts, if you want to add to them, absolutely go ahead. It's now your card front to use on a card as you like. So you don't have to build pattern paper onto cardstock. You can just use the pattern paper as the base, as I have here. So no shakers, no chunky things. This must stay under 1/2 centimetre thick so that everyone can enjoy affordable post to and from this swap. So what do you do with your card front panels when they arrive? Super easy. Use liquid glue or double-sided tape, take a card base and glue it on the top. Boom, you have an instant card ready to give. And I don't know about you, but I never have enough birthday cards. Now, the last thing that I'll say is that it's not compulsory to do your cards in this portrait orientation. If you would like to do your cards in a landscape orientation, absolutely go for it. That will be perfectly fine because it's good to mix it up. Thank you so much for watching this packing and posting video. I hope it has been helpful for you. Remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I am happy to answer all questions. There are no silly questions, especially when you are new to swapping. A reminder that this swap is for Australian residents only. If you're in the USA and are interested in swaps, I can point you towards some very fun swaps that go on there. I hope you all enjoy putting your card panels together as much as I did. I can't wait to see them all, and I really hope you enjoy the selection that you receive in return.